So guys, I have basically hit the burnout of Genshin, right? If you're a frequent watcher of this channel, you probably would have speculated that because of my slow uploads. I'm sorry about that, by the way. But yeah, I am getting bored and I'm honestly running out of video ideas, so that's why I'm making this. And with that, I just want to talk about Genshin and my feelings, just my thoughts, right? I just want a kind of discussion video. And just to be clear, I do not hate Genshin. I still like it. I like making content for it, and I will continue to make content. Okay? Now let's begin. We all know that Endgame isn't coming because of the weird reason of anxiety. And I'm just gonna say this right now. That is dumb as hell. The game has anxiety anyway, because it's a gacha game. Pulling characters and FOMO are perfect examples. If you don't know what FOMO means, it's fear of missing out, right? That's the events that come in Genshin, like Lantern Rite. Those do come back, but it's different each year. And there's a lot of reward to those types of events that you could miss and it never comes back, right? So some players just have a fear of missing out. Anyway, I just wish there was more to do, right? If there's just a small sliver of a chance there will be something other than the Spiral Abyss, here's a couple things I would like. How about a raid? Anyone? I think raids are a very nice touch for games. They provide nice extra reward while also having a nice challenge in it. Let's paint a picture for Genshin. There's a domain, but it's not like the artifact or talent material ones. It's a raid. You can go solo or co-op. When you load in, there's a room. There could be a boss in that room, a bunch of enemies to kill, or it's just a puzzle, that you can go into another room after completing that puzzle, right? Let's just say there are 3 total rooms. And the last one is the main boss. But it's a really, really tough boss. And with that boss, there could be other enemies to kill as well to make the fight even more engaging. A little more intense. I don't know. Now, what kind of reward could you come out with these raids? I don't know. Maybe an exclusive weapon pool that changes with each update. Like, say they have a certain weapon. It does a certain thing. They can make each one for a sword, polearm, book, whatever it is, and just have those weapons in the loot pool. And it's a chance drop. So, that could engage you to do the raid even more. I've been wanting fragile resin lately. They could add that. Fragile resin would allow me to do more stuff in the game, and I would be happy with that. But yeah, what do you guys think? I think it would be nice. Another thing I would wish is, more multiplayer activities in general. Here's an idea. There are many people who haven't really cleared the Spiral Abyss. How about we just make another version of that, but it's co-op. You can go in co-op. That would be pretty rad. How cool would it be to enter with your friends or with other randos that you end up friends with, I guess, and just clear the floor, clear the next floor. That would be so satisfying and fun. And just overall though, I just want something else that we can do. And again, if there's just a small chance there could be something new, something else, I'll stay on that hopium train until the game's lifetime is over. It's just, I'm really getting bored of farming for new characters and stuff. And I'm just gonna say this right now. New characters is not new content. It might be for YouTube videos, which is fine for me. I like making content on that kind of thing, but I just don't know anymore. I'm sure I can come up with a few new ideas for videos. This is just a video because I'm running out of ideas. And there's nothing else to do in Genshin, right? I can't make videos on story content because that's boring as hell. We all know it. because it's just there's so much story that I'm not even providing anything in that, because most of it I'm just listening to the other characters. Literally all there is really is just characters, right? Which is fine. Okay, it's fine. I'm all right with it. If that's how it's supposed to be, I'll be fine. I'll live. I still like the game for what it is. That being said, why do you think there is a lot of people that do challenge videos, right? I mean, I tried it. I tried doing a shielders only. That went well for a little while. And I do kind of feel bad because that's where a lot of my subscribers came from. They came from my shielders only series. And I basically stopped. I just stopped. I couldn't. I was getting so burnt out of just... It was probably mostly the story quest. I'm not gonna lie. I was getting a little sick and tired of playing those over and over. Because there is no skip button. There's nothing to skip. And I'm tired of just spamming my button. Ugh. And it's not just that. It was kind of getting boring of farming a boss over and over. Especially the same boss, because I'm limited to shielders only, but that was my own fault. I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I admire the other people that have done those series because they have, you know, more discipline than I do. They discipline themselves to do that. Me, on the other hand, I just can't stand it. I couldn't do it. Maybe it'll come back. Maybe if I just get in a different mindset, I will continue the series. Right? I'll have to, I don't know. I don't want to get you guys hyped up. The chances of that happening is as low as endgame coming into Genshin. Let's talk more though. Let's compare this to other games. A good example would be Tower Fantasy. Yeah, we all know. I'm sure a lot of people don't like that game. Me personally, I like Tower Fantasy. There was a lot to do, right? And maybe that's just because it's first time playing it. I mean, that's how I felt first time playing Genshin, because there was just a lot to do at first. But I don't know. There is still a lot to do in Tower Fantasy. If I logged in right now in Tower Fantasy or installed it again, yes, I stopped playing it, but I'll tell you why in a little bit. There would be so much for me to do. Because, listen, right? You stopped taking a break from Genshin, or you started taking a break from Genshin because you got bored, right? You come back, there's really nothing new. Nothing changes. Maybe except for a new region or two, but nothing really changed. Nothing new was added except for a character that you just missed the banner for. But Tower Fantasy, you stop playing that, you log in back, and there's a freaking Battle Royale mode? Like, what? You know what? I'm just starting to think. I forgot something. Genshin did add something new. That was the card game. I completely forgot about that. You know, it is fun though. That card game was fun for a little bit, but it really wasn't something I hoped for. Because it just doesn't really make sense. It honestly should be a different, like, separate game. It just doesn't make sense for a gacha game. It's a card game, right? You pull your characters, and I want to use those characters in something else, but not a card game. You don't even use your characters in a card game. You actually, like, try and get the other cards in a different way. It's just, it is an extra thing to do for players that like it, but honestly, there are probably like 5 people that play it. Let's be real. I mean, let me know if you play the card game and tell me your thoughts on it. Maybe I'll start playing it now, I guess. But yeah, let's get back to Tower Fantasy. Yeah, there's a freaking Battle Royale mode in it. Like, what? What? I think that was pretty cool. There's a lot to do in Tower Fantasy. Now, let's talk about why a lot of people don't play it and why I don't play it. I think it's just because of Genshin's sole existence. You know, Genshin is a unique thing, and I feel like a lot of players, including myself, felt that they don't really want to grind on Tower Fantasy just because of Genshin. And I will say this, Genshin's existence is really numbing Tower Fantasy. It's slapping Tower Fantasy in the face. If Genshin didn't exist, Tower Fantasy would be a good game. I feel like. Now, Tower Fantasy's story isn't that good, yeah, I know that, but I'm not playing the game for its story, really. I'm playing just for the gameplay and the fun. And even with that, you can skip all the cutscenes in Tower Fantasy. You can skip everything, I think, at least. All I know is there's a skip button, which is nice, right? First of all, that's nice, but it's not really that big of a deal. There's just a lot to do in Tower Fantasy, and I stopped just because I didn't really... There's Genshin. I didn't really feel like it. And another thing is, a lot of players dropped it. It has such a low player base now, it just doesn't feel as live as it did at launch. And it's sad. It's sad, really. And that's kind of what dragged me out of Tower of Fantasy. Now, how's it holding up now? I don't know, but it would be kind of a game that I would play on my own time, because on the content side of it, like on the YouTube side of Tower of Fantasy, last time I looked, it doesn't look that good. But yeah, and enough of Tower of Fantasy. I'm also just bored of story quests, mainly. I think that's my main issue. I don't like how there's more story than gameplay. Like the Wind Trace event. Wind Trace? Was that what it was called? I think it was called Wind Trace. Like, I literally played the events and didn't do the story. That's how I felt. I did not want to play the story so bad that I just played the events. Like, I was procrastinating it so hard, and one day I just decided to get through the story I needed to unlock the events, and I just went through all the events. Boom. Didn't even have to worry about the rest of the story. And you know what? I'm satisfied about that. Alright, thank you, Genshin, for not making me do the entire story line for that, because I probably wouldn't have even done anything in the event if that was the case. Another thing that I would like to talk about is, I think Genshin being a mobile game is holding it back. And that's probably why there's nothing new. I honestly, I just feel bad for mobile players. How do you guys live? You probably run on the lowest graphic setting because there's just so much in the game right now. It's getting huge, and it's not even finished yet. And there's so much storage space that they probably don't want to add any more, permanent activities. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know anymore. If they could have permanent activities, I think the coolest ones would probably be... Do you guys remember that domain event that players could create? That was pretty awesome. That was fun. I like that. That was a cool idea. And they could honestly expand on that. But a thing like that would take a toll on mobile devices. And that's why I say the game being on mobile holds it back. But that can't change and never will. And that's probably the real reason why Endgame is never coming. Or is it? I really don't understand the whole anxiety thing. That is just stupid. Every time I think about that, is just stupid. Well, I've run out of things that I want to talk about. I'll survive, guys. I just wanted to talk about this, get it off my chest. And if you stuck with me through this entire video, thank you. I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts, right? I want to know what you guys think, and I would love to read your comments. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. And of course,
how about you subscribe to Kiro and come back for the next video?